and welcome to one more board game show. Have you ever been camping? Like, you know, when you're out there in the forest in your tent and in the back of your mind, you think, there's something out there. Well, today on Reviews, we're going to be taking a look at two games in a series called Nightmare Forest. We're looking at Dead Run and Alien Invasion. Nightmare Forest is a series of games created by Dave Killingworth and distributed by Soulflare Games. Both games are a push-your-luck dice/card game, but each has their own little differences. So first up, let's talk about Nightmare Forest Dead Run. Nightmare Forest Dead Run is a 1 to 6 player game, and it takes about 20 to 40 minutes to play through a game. In Dead Run, players are going to be taking on the role of campers. These campers have discovered that all the animals in the forest are now turned into evil zombies that want to eat their brains. So they've got to get to the road to their car as quick as possible without getting eaten. And they have to be the first one there. In Dead Run, there is a forest deck. This forest deck contains evil things that want to eat your brains. And you've got different levels. You've got a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4. Now you're going to lay these out in front of you into a single rows, depending on how many players are in the game. And each level will have 2 cards, except for the 4, which will have 1. Now, what's going to happen is each player is going to pick a character and you're going to place it in front of one of the columns. And that's pretty much your race line. And every turn, players are going to get 4 dice. These 4 dice are kind of like your actions. They tell you what you can do throughout the game. So on your turn, you can either flip over a zombie and try and fight it. You can search for gear, or you could get rid of some of that gear you don't want anymore and chuck it at your opponent's aisle and try and make as much noise as possible for them to try and get more zombies to go to them. So if you're gonna fight a zombie, pretty much you're gonna flip a zombie card over and it'll have a defense value on the top of it. And then you're gonna say, I'm gonna take 4 dice and I'm gonna use my 4 dice to try and fight it. If you get enough hits to beat it, great, you've killed it and you can move up. If you haven't beat it, then you gotta take a wound. And players pretty much gonna proceed like that until one player gets all the way out of the forest. One other thing, if you defeat a zombie, then you get 1 of your dice back, meaning that could help you search for some more gear or potentially take out that next zombie. But it's not as easy as that. As I mentioned before, the difficulty of the monsters gets harder and harder and harder the closer to the end of the race you get. So to counter this, as you progress up each level of zombies, so from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, you're gonna get given an additional dice and another piece of gear. The gear is gonna help you out. It's gonna be things like screwdrivers or a trash can to try and stop a zombie hitting you, all the way up to something like a shotgun, which is just gonna blast the crap out of those zombies. But beware, because some of these cards make noise. And that noise is going to attract zombies to your lane, which is gonna make it more difficult for you to try and get out. So you have to try and weigh up the options of whether, do I use this more powerful weapon and make noise and potentially get more zombies in my row, or do I use the quiet little one-handed weapons and shiv my way through these zombies all the way to that finish line. Now onto Dead Run Alien Invasion. Alien Invasion is the sequel to Dead Run. In Alien Invasion, you are the lone survivor from Dead Run. You've gotten out of that forest from those evil zombies and you've made it to the town. But on your way there, you discover that there is actually an alien invasion about to happen. So you get some townsfolk, you head back into Nightmare Forest and try and squash those aliens before they can report back home and bring on a total invasion. Like Dead Run, Alien Invasion is a push your luck dice and card game. But the big difference here is that Alien Invasion is a full co-op game. In Alien Invasion, depending on the number of players, you're going to take a series of level 1, 2, 3, 4 aliens, you're going to shuffle them up, and you're going to lay them out in a certain grid as the rulebook shows. Now what's going to happen is players can come in from that forest in any side they want. On your turn, very similar to Dead Run, you're going to have your dice pool, which is going to allow you to do certain actions. These actions can be moving into the forest and flipping an alien and attacking it, or searching for gear, or also just simply moving through the forest, moving from one location to another. Once all the alien cards have been wiped out, the players win the game. But it's not as easy as that, because one of the big differences between Dead Run and Alien Invasion, besides the co-op factor, is the fact that Alien Invasion has a timer. Depending on the level that the players agree on, you can either play easy, medium, or hard. You're going to get 9, 8, or 7 turns to play this game in. It takes that element of the constant fear of something happening from Dead Run and brings it into the co-op world of Alien Invasion, and constantly make you think, we're going to be able to get this done in the amount of time we have. The other big difference in Alien Invasion, where in Dead Run, as you progressed up the board, you would increase your dice. In Alien Invasion, every time a player kills an alien, it's going to go into a collective pool. That pool can be used to spend as if it was kind of a money to upgrade a player. So you can upgrade to a new level, and that new level is going to allow you to have more dice. This is going to make you more and more powerful. It'll also help you heal and other things like that, but that's what potentially is going to upgrade your characters and make it easier. And another aspect that changes Alien Invasion from Dead Run is also players will get given role cards. These role cards give the player an ability which helps give that character an actual helps give that character a motivation towards what style of play they should do in the game. That's a really big thing, because in Dead Run you sort of get a character card and it didn't really mean anything. Whereas this one, your characters actually have a purpose because of this role that they have. So what do I think of these games? Well, Dead Run has that fantastic aspect of the push your luck, do I do this, can I do this, and try and screw your friends over and be the first one to get to that finish line. And in Dead Run, you're constantly feeling that pressure of, like, especially if you're in the front and you've got all these other people trailing behind you, and if you've got that pressure of, if I stuff up here, but they get good rolls, they're gonna catch me and they're gonna get in front of me. So I've got to constantly push, and because of how the difficulty raises as you move on, you're more likely to fail towards the arse end of the race, which is going to allow those players to catch up, and it constantly puts that pressure on you. And it works the opposite way around as well. If you're in the back, it puts that pressure on, knowing that, I've only got limited amount of dice, and I know if I got doubles on these dice, I could potentially beat this strength 6 monster, but I've got to get doubles on all 3 of my dice I'm rolling. Do I do it? Because if I get it, I can catch up and potentially win. If I don't, I'm going to take that wound, which means I could nearly die. So what do I do? So you roll the dice and in that case probably fail and take a wound, but you could get it. So it just brings that aspect into it. And the same thing rolls over into Alien Invasion, but this time as a team. And I say team because in this game, you need to be a team. If you do not help each other, the game will kick your butt and you'll lose pretty much straight away. You have to communicate in this, and the pressure that it puts on to actually make you work as a unit. Like, if I do this, then you do that, then you do this, then that person does this and that does that, and then potentially I can get to this spot, which makes us get it, but it never works out. And when it doesn't work out, then you're like, what do we do? What do we do? And you actually sit there and you communicate as a team. That's a great thing, especially for a co-op game, that pressure just makes it happen. Now, out of the 2 Nightmare Forest games, which ones would I get? I'd personally go with Dead Run, because I like that aspect of racing each other and screw your mate over and be the first one over the finish line. Where with the co-op one, it relies way too much on the other people, and a lot of the times you can't get every player that is big on the co-op, and one player will go out on their own and that completely screws it, especially in this game where it is so essential that you must be working together or you fail. And the push your luck aspect mixed in with that co-op, I feel it makes it extremely hard game. And in my opinion, I'm not a big fan of that. If you like co-op games and you like push your luck games, then you're gonna love that. But me personally, I'm not a big fan of it, so I'm gonna always gravitate more towards the Dead Run with the race and the pushing your luck in that. It feels more like a well-oiled machine, the way the design works and everything. If you're a big push your luck game fan, then these games are probably gonna be for you. If you like co-op games, then I would recommend going for Alien Invasion. It's very difficult, and it will take a lot of plays to get some decent wins in and stuff like that. It is a very fun game, but it's hard. If you're not a fan of co-op games, then I would go to the other side and I would grab Dead Run. Dead Run is fun as screw your mate, push your luck dice game. I think the push your luck aspect works a little bit better in Dead Run than it does in Alien Invasion, but they both work very well and I recommend them both. So if you want to find out more information about the Nightmare Forest games, check out the links down below. As always, like, subscribe, and share. And thank you again for watching one more board game show, and I'll catch you next time.